Hi, this is John with John's Workshop, and welcome to part 3 of the series on the Silver Cloud brakes. In this episode, we're going to work on the brakes at each wheel, looking at the drums and the wheel cylinders. This is giving you an idea of the starting point. So before we did any work and just pulled the drums off here, this is the left front, and you can get an idea of the condition. Things were pretty rusty. There was no brake fluid in the system. The wheel cylinders were in relatively bad condition. You can see we've sprayed a little penetrating oil there on the bolt, but you get an idea of kind of what the condition of this was. It had been sitting for, we figure, about 30 years or so, really not moving. It was in a warehouse at least, but I don't know if it was really environmentally controlled. So things are pretty rusty here, and we ended up deciding to take this all apart and end up replacing the wheel cylinders rather than rebuilding them. And this is the condition of the rear brakes. We've again pulled the drum off so you can see what's under there. Things haven't moved in quite some time, so all of these parts are going to just be pulled out of here. Pretty straightforward work on the brakes. And so in this video, I'm not going to show all the details of what we've done, but I'm going to show some of the things that were maybe a little bit different than what you would expect for a typical brake job on a more modern car. These rear shoe expanders were completely frozen up, so we had to pull these out and get them cleaned and lubricated before reinstalling. If you're about to do this job yourself, you'll definitely want to replace these flex lines. These happen to be the ones on the front left wheel, but the flex lines definitely would need to be replaced for things this age. When we found the car, there was no brake fluid in the jars, as you can see here, just rust, and this created a problem for the lines that go down to the master cylinders. They were really a big mess inside. We just routed out the line with fresh brake fluid down to the master cylinder with this piece of copper wire, and this is what it looks like pulling out. Is just like a gritty, rusty mess in there. Looks really bad. On Amazon, we ordered these brushes at the end of a long wire to try to get in there and clean all that dirt out. We're trying to clean out the hard lines that go from the jars down to the master cylinder, and we've got a long brush here. We've got it on the drill and got it up the back of the line here, and we're trying to get a lot of gunk out of there. So there, you can see I'm spinning it, and we're slowly putting it into the line, at least as far as the brush will go. The idea here is that we can just agitate whatever might be in there particle-wise and then pull it out. After running the brush up from the bottom and down from the top and pouring a bunch of brake fluid in there and some brake cleaner, we were finally able to get the brushes to come out fairly clean. Working on the rear cylinder of the 59 Cloud, just pulled it off. It's a replacement cylinder. We know that because it was put in upside down. It was actually, this was on the left-hand side of the car, and the bleed nipple was down low, and the input brake line was up high. So we know that wasn't correct. But the interesting thing here was, look at the stuff that was in there. This was what was in the rear cylinder there. Really, really bad. To get the wheel cylinders out, you pretty much have to take the hubs off and take the whole front brake backing plate and everything off. And here's the backing plate. We've cleaned it up here, and this picture shows it is about ready to go back into the car. Here's what the two front brake assemblies look like with the new wheel cylinders. Everything gets assembled up onto the backing plate just like this, and the whole assembly goes onto the car as a unit. Each brake assembly is held on with those 6 bolts you see centered around the hole where the hub passes through. In this view, you can see the backside of those assemblies. And since the hubs are off, it's a great opportunity to go ahead and assess the bearings and repack them with grease, as we did here with both of the front wheel bearings. Here we see that cleaned up front brake assembly bolted back onto the car. And once that's on, then the hub gets put back in place. On the rear brakes, there's kind of a trick to getting the shoes out without having to try to take the linkages out of the shoes while it's all still assembled there. Here's the removal of the rear shoes. You grab this spring here, pull it down, and then that allows this spring to come up here, and then you can take this hook, which is hooked below down here, to be able to get that out, and then you take this spring out completely. Then on the top shoe, pull this out like this, and then pull this out here. And now we have the whole assembly loose. And what you should be able to do then is pull this out like this and rotate this somehow like this to get it out of here. Let's see if we can do that. Well, theoretically, this is supposed to come right out of here. There we go. And so now the shoe situation is out. This is the eccentric. It's in there like that. You can see how that's off center, so you can raise and lower the whole operation there. And this part just rotates around here. So we're getting that cleaned up, put that back in. That spring you saw me taking off earlier goes through this little loop in my hand there, and then it's critical that this part be able to turn, because you need to turn it from the backside of the brake plate to make sure it's adjusted properly. And when we started this project, those wouldn't even turn on either side of the rear, so it was really impossible to get the brakes adjusted properly without making sure that part could rotate. This just shows where that part is relative to the rear brake cylinder and the backing plate. On the right rear brakes, this is where that eccentric pin picks up the brake linkage. Another important component of the braking system is this shakeback stop, and its job is to prevent the brake shoe from moving very far away from the brake drum when you release the brakes. And that way, when you go to press the brakes the next time, you don't have very much travel and the brakes feel nice and firm. So as you're driving along, you don't want the shoes to shake back away from the drum. We used a fish scale to measure how much force it takes to get that shakeback stop to move. And the specification is between 20 and 30 pounds. First, we take a look at the left rear brake shake stop. So there's the scale reading, and we're going to pull until the shakeback stop, where I have this drill bit stuck in, slips a little bit on the shoe. So there's 10. Oh, there's about 20, and it moved a little bit.
This is the right side.
Oh yeah.
This one is definitely not. What'd you say the spec was? 20 to 30?
Between 20 and 30 for the shakeback stop. And then here, there's 6, 8. It moves just under 10. So we're going to have to replace that spring more than likely it got overheated and they tend to lose their springiness and have to be replaced. So the next step is we're going to look at the mechanical expander. The mechanical expander part of the rear brakes was pretty fouled up with rust, so we had to clean that off. You can see it here on the left-hand side before it was cleaned and lubricated, and then we reinstalled that in the rear brakes. And that rear shoe expansion mechanism gets connected to these two rods, which convert the axial motion of the center rod into lateral motion to expand the rear shoes. And this pivot, which you can see here, is mounted on the rear differential. So we did tear this apart and cleaned it up and lubricated it just to make sure that it was moving properly. Now that all the wheel cylinders have been replaced and the adjustments will now move on the rear brakes, we're ready to get the whole system working by setting the lengths of some of the various rods in the system, and we'll do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful.